Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Sunday's feature race at Aqueduct kicks off a pick four wager. It's race number 3, going a one-turn mile for New York bred fillies and mares. It's the Biagio's Rose. Let's take a look at this group of New York breds. The 3 Timeless Journey, the 2 Know-It-All Audrey. They figure to take some money in here. Timeless Journey's been in very good form since moving back to the dirt for trainer Ray Handel.
Yeah, she really won well in each of her last 3 starts, Dan. This feels like a good spot for her. She's going to cut back a little bit in distance in this race, but it really shouldn't be a problem. And she also has really, really fine tactical speed, and that feels like it's going to be important in this race.
That's an absolutely important handicapping angle for this race, because as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, you see that little blue bar, which means that Timeform US believes this race could favor front runners. Timeless Journey could be sitting just off the leaders in third with a fair chance turning into the stretch. I think Know-It-All Audrey's going to try to get to the front, Mike, last time out, but Impossible Donna's stretching out. Maybe she'll be aggressively handled.
I'm assuming both the 2 and the 4 will be looking for the lead in here. It'll be interesting to see if Franco on Know-It-All Audrey elects to concede in this race. If I was him, I wouldn't. I don't think I would let Impossible Donna make the lead in here, just because I don't think Impossible Donna's that good. And the only way that she can win here is if she somehow gets loose. I think Know-It-All Audrey, based on the form she's in right now, she's probably the horse to beat in this race, Dan, and she could make the lead.
This race shape would work against the number 1, Mia B Star, a horse making her stakes debut in start number 43. Now, she's been in fine form. I think she's hit the board in something like her last 7 races, but all against much weaker competition. Last time out, she didn't get a ton of pace to rally into. She ran just fine, but these are better horses and a similar pace scenario.
Yeah, she just doesn't really have a lot of speed. She's usually sitting back and trying to make one run, and it's often just leaves her with too much to do. She almost never wins, but she always shows up and runs a good race. I expect she'll run well again in here, but she's got a lot working against her, and it's not like she's going to be some kind of great price.
Know-It-All Audrey, the number 2, stretches back out to the distance of her last 2 victories. She ran 7/8 of a mile last time out in the Broadway, and she was part of a solid pace. She was pushing it on the outside. She eventually got the better of the leader, but at that point she was tired and the closers came calling. I think she'll have an easier time of it up close to the pace. The mile is all right for her. Manny Franco riding in good form.
Agree with all that stuff, Dan. And more than anything else, she just faced a field in the Broadway last time that's way tougher than this one. And none of those Broadway horses are coming back in this spot. Know-It-All Audrey is. Her form prior to that race was really good. As you've already pointed out, the mile is no problem for her. If I was Franco, I'd put her on the lead and take my chances.
Timeless Journey, the number 3, is another horse coming out of a really quality race. It produced 2 next out winners. Let's watch her polish off open second level allowance runners going a mile and 1/8. And one of the horses that came out of this race to win was Let Her Inspire You, who I believe won the Empire Distaff last year and came right back to win a second level allowance with a 79 buyer. And Timeless Journey didn't have any problems with her.
Yeah, she did. And she actually won this race fairly convincingly at the end. This is obviously a race going longer too, Dan. You see her starting to drift a little bit at the end. I really feel like even though she handled the 9, cutting back to the 1-turn mile, I think helps her in here. The only loss since they switched her back to dirt recently came 2 back against Frost Point, who would be, I don't know, 1 to 1,000,000 in this race. She's way better than these horses. And Timeless Journey actually ran well that day too.
Impossible Donna won the last time she was in against Restricted Company. That was a New York Stallion Series event going 7/8 of a mile over a wet track, and she showed good positional speed that day. Her most recent start came off a short layoff, and she just didn't show that sort of speed. Getting back out in distance will help her find her forward position. Did you have an excuse for the last race? Was it a situation she was in too tough?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was in too tough for sure. But she was just in too tough because to me anyway, she's just not that good. They actually did try to make the lead with her in that race. She was ridden from the gate. That field was just too fast for her. She couldn't keep up, and she was never a factor. I know that she won a stakes race, a Stallion Series race 2 starts back then, but it was a 4-horse field. It was really no competition for her in there, and she did what she had to do to get the job done. I wouldn't bet her off of any of her other performances.
It's a shame that there's no speed if you're a fan of the 5, Captain's Daughter, because she's the kind of horse that needs a little bit of hitting up front. She's likely going to be lagging near the back of the pack. She does have several back races that would make her interesting. She's multiple stakes placed against restricted company. Just get the feeling she might have too much work to do when the real racing commences.
It's the real problem for her in this race. They're just not going to go that fast. I'm not really sure that, the mile is a great distance for either. I just kind of feel like she's best as a closing sprinter, but I think she is stakes placed like 5 or 6 times. I mean, she shows up and she runs every single time.
Top pick time for the Biagio's Rose, kicking off a pick 4 at Aqueduct on Sunday. Mike, you're going Timeless Journey. We saw that last race. She beat a very good field. She's got tactical speed. In the form she's in right now, 9-5 seems fair on the line.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a 2-horse race to me anyway. The 2 or the 3. I slightly prefer the 3.
I'm hoping Know It All Audrey can just shake loose of Impassable Donna, maybe get a little bit of a breather and hold off Timeless Journey in the stretch. So Mike's going with the 3. I'm going with the 2. It's the Biagio's Rose on Sunday. Best of luck.